Happy Monday, everyone. I made it home. I'm happy to be home. I shot a match this weekend at Richmond. I shot Saturday. I'm going to break down the whole match. That's going to be posted on YouTube. I'm not going to post it on Instagram. So if you just want to watch the intro, you can watch it on Instagram. If you want to watch the whole thing in its entirety, you can go to YouTube. There's a bonus pre-match interview by the great HYPE Man Kirkland. Thank you, Kirkland, for that. And everything's unedited here, so it's all one take. So Richmond, we're going to talk about Richmond a little bit before we get into the topic of subconscious shooting. It's all going to tie together. So Richmond, I usually don't practice things. I usually use other matches to practice and try to implement new techniques and new procedures, whether it's shooting faster, splitting faster, shooting riskier targets at a higher rate of speed. I usually don't do that at Richmond. Well, I did it at Richmond this week. A couple things I did. I usually don't draw to steal. If there's a paper and a steal 18 yards out, I always go the safe route. I always go to the paper. But this week I drew to steal on every chance I could, off the start stick or off the start position where it was a steal and a paper visible. Went to the steal and I was 10 for 10 on that, or not 10 for 10, 1 for 1 on all of it. Moving on steal, I've been practicing moving forward but not retreating, 50-50 on that. And moving on high risk targets, sort of trying to roll through them and not stay stationary. I had a high success rate on that. So usually at Richmond, Soap, and Linden, I won't experiment. I'll stick to what I know, subconscious shooting, just focusing on the first position, memorizing the stage, and letting muscle memory take over. So subconscious shooting, the best way I can explain it, and it's a Steve Anderson concept, I believe. And this is my interpretation of it. So if I'm sitting on the couch and I need to go to the refrigerator, I don't think I need to put my right foot in front of my left. I need to swing my arms while I'm walking. I need to reach with this arm and grab with this arm. It just happens. It just happens because it's like chewing gum, driving, and tuning the radio. You've done it so many times, it happens naturally. So that's the whole concept. If you drill enough reloads, you drill enough you drill enough indexing, you don't have to think about that. I literally don't have, I've drawn so many times during dry fire and live fire, I don't have to think about my draw. I don't have to think about my reload. Some of them are pretty choppy. 80% of them are pretty clean. So yeah, that's the whole concept. If you drill entries, exits, indexing, your draw, your reloads, it's just things you don't have to think about. When you get to the match, you just have to remember the positions, what you need to engage from each position, where you need to get more bullets in the gun before you get to the next position, and that's it. My thing is, what I do is I get to the match early. I get up early anyways. I get to the match early. I get there before everyone's there. I start walking stages, getting my stage plans, and then I may change some things if I see someone doing something a little bit more advantageous. But 9 times out of the 10, I stick with my plan, and that's what I do. And then I walk the stage, I memorize it, I get it locked in, I get to the start position, and I focus. I focus on whatever I need to, whether it's a position, and if that first position, if I can see the paper through the wall, I'll look at the paper, I'll look at the position, I'll look at the paper, and then I'll look at the position. And this is if it's a longer distance run. If it's a shorter distance run, I'll look at the target because I've walked it enough. I already know how many steps it is. I just end up where I'm supposed to be. So that's the whole concept of subconscious shooting. So at Richmond, I didn't get to do that so much because I'm focusing on some new things that I'm trying, and I just mentioned those. So a couple of other things I wanted to go over is the training I'm going to be doing this month. I've got a lot of training with other people I'm going to be doing. I'm going to the Joey Sauerland class. In July, I'm going to the Kid a Bus class. I'm going to be taking on Zach as a coach for some one-on-one training. Not a coach per se, but I'm going to pay him to do some one-on-one training with me, I think once a quarter. And then I'm going to do the class with him and Owang. A lot of information to get there, and then a lot of things I need to shore up that he's already noticed in some of my videos. So I'm really excited about that. I'll be doing that, the first class with him on Friday. So I'll be speaking a little bit about that once I get permission from him. But yeah, so we'll be talking about the match. I'll be breaking down the whole thing, and, you know, subconscious shooting, that's the way things should be, and your best performances are based around that. So I'm going to cut it short, and I'm going to attach the Kirkland pre-match interview to this. I think it's about 1.5 minutes long. That'll put this about 7 minutes. And then I'm going to do the breakdown here in a little bit. That should be like 15 minutes. So it'll be like a 25-minute video, but that's where we're at.
Here we are. We're going to do a pre-match interview with the master, Ernie Pereira. He's also an instructor, so all you motherfuckers that need to class up need to be taking classes from him. I'm too cheap, so I'm always asking him stuff as we're doing the walkthroughs for tips and tricks. Well, Ernie, what do you think about the match?
I think Richmond is the best match going on, and it is amazing. The stages are great as usual, and the weather's great. Again, the staff is excellent here. It is literally my favorite match. I actually look forward to this match every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. And, you know, I get a lot of crap for being a cheerleader like that, but I don't care. I don't care. You know, I say what I say, I do what I do, right? This is a great match. And
but you weren't always as vocal of a cheerleader.
I was not. I was waiting, and I used to tell the Chairman Chang, that, hey, if you can keep it up for a year, this will be the best match. And we're well past that. We're like 1.5 years into it. So I have to give him hats off, even though it takes a team, it takes a village, but he was the one that spearheaded it. And I'm not trying to like slob on anything, but I'm just stating the facts, man. This is a really good match. Like Reno May said, if you finish 8th here, it's first somewhere else, right? Or vice versa, right? And it's true. This is a very challenging match. And every week, I'm doing drills based around Richmond.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, 20-yard no-shoots, stuff like that.
I know. Well, we love watching all your videos, Ernie. You're an inspiration, and you're an asshole, but we love you.
High five. All right, so this is the Richmond match I shot on Saturday. Some of the video, this video isn't too good from the cell phone. But I'm on the line. I'm looking at a paper and a steel about 18 yards away, and I'm thinking, draw to the paper, Ernie, draw to the paper. And it's like, no, Ernie, you've been practicing drawing to steel. So I actually draw to the steel. I actually execute this stage pretty good. So let's get into it. So on the upright targets, the bullet traps, I made sure to slow down on them because I got 2 mics at the last match going by them too fast. So this position right here is a very important position. There is 2 no-shoots, probably about 18 yards out. Well, there's 2 targets with the no-shoot splitting them. So it's a good place to slow people down and pick up penalties. So I made sure that I picked up as many alphas as I could on those 2 targets, and I think I got 3 alpha, 1 Charlie. The next target next to it, I got an alpha Charlie and then another alpha Charlie. So let's go ahead and watch this. And you can see once I get on the 3rd shot on the last penalty target, I see my dots going up and down, and I just send it, and then I transition to the next 2 targets. Up front looks pretty good. We're gonna lose some of it here. I get excited up front, and I do a lot of sweeping off. I picked up my 3 deltas up front, so let's watch this. We'll have to look at the head cam for this, just because the videographer stood back way too far. But let's get into the head cam of this one, and we'll be able to see a lot more from there. So it was a respectable time. Okay, so here we are. And someone's asking me about my exhales. I forgot to talk about that on the intro. It's a meditation thing. So when you exhale, it relieves any stress and anxiety. And that's what I do. I use it to clear my mind, to make sure I'm not thinking of anything. In this position, I'm thinking, well, do I shoot the paper first or do I shoot the steel, Ernie? Which do I do? And I end up doing what I've been training. So The exhale of the breath, that's just something I do. Sometimes I do it through the whole stage. Very seldom. I'm not a really heavy breather. Just from cycling all these years, I'm able to breathe normally without sounding crazy. But let's watch this. We'll watch it half speed. 1 for 1 on steel. I make sure that it's a no shoot. Make sure I get 2 alphas on that. Now this is the position here. So we'll watch this quarter speed. I make sure I get good confirmation on the first target. The second target, after I see my gun going up and the dot return, I pull it right away and then I send it on the rest. And I pick up the cadence of the split. So we'll watch that in full speed so you can see what I'm talking about. And again, this video, if you want to watch it, you can watch it in its entirety on YouTube or Instagram. I'm not going to attach it to this. So let's listen to this. Okay, and then we're going to slow it down here. So this is good. This is good. Good. Watch the sweeping here. And then I pick up 2 deltas on that center target. You can't really see it. The rest of this is good. Pick up a mic there, make it up. And then the transition over is good. And then I go 1 for 1 on the steel. Very happy with the execution. The 3 deltas really hurt me on this. But as far as everything else, I was like very satisfied with it, especially going 1 for 1 on steel. So let's watch this here. Okay, so this here, I'll slow it down when I start getting into trouble. Let's do that. So this I draw to an open target, double stack with the no shoot in between. And then what I do is I move up on a open target there. And then I move on 2 steel here. And then I shoot this one. Then I go through the port. And then I stick a reload. And the first half of this is good. It's when I start retreating on steel. And I'll slow it down once we get there. So this is very good execution on half the stage. Moving on steel. I get 3 alpha on the swinger, and so that's something I need to work on. I get the timing of the swinger good, but I can never get it on the first pass when it starts to come up. If I can catch it coming up, I can split 2. So what's happening? I'm catching it coming up with 1. And then when I'm tracking on when it comes back around the other way, I'm getting 2 on it. And this has happened to me my last 2 matches. It's like 3 alpha on it. And I do it again in a different stage. But we're going to slow it down here. So one of the things I do is when I reload and I step on the stomp pad, I step on this side to engage the swinger. So I'm closer this way to my next position. I don't stand right in the middle, and we'll back this up. So a lot of people, let's remove my arrows. A lot of people stood right here and shot. I actually moved as far over this way to engage that so I can be closer that way. I'm really happy with all this, and this is why you can hear me mumbling. I'm so disappointed with the last half of this. And we're going to watch the last half of this in slow motion. Alpha, 2 alpha. This is good. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to start backing out on, hold on a second. Start backing out on this target, and then I'm supposed to shoot the steel backing out here. But let's back this up. I'm 84. Let's go ahead and watch this. So I start backing up. I back up on the open target, and now I start miking on the steel. I start miking on the steel like crazy, and I finally get it when I stand still. But I was at least I was at the final position. So let's watch the head cam in full speed.
Are you ready? Stand by.
This is good. Really happy with this. This is good. My reload's good. I step to the side. 3 alpha. Now I start backing up, covering distance. This is where it falls apart right here. So that was almost a perfect run. We're gonna clean all this up in the next week or two. So this stage here, the videographer, my camera's got a broken screen, so he pushed the button a couple times. So what I end up doing, what you're gonna miss, is I step in here, I take that target, and then I run to the corner, and then the camera will pick back up. So let's watch this. So what I do is I come to this corner and I engage, and then I keep my gun up the whole time, and I shoot the no shoot first, the open target. I have one mic on steel and then make it up, and then I reload going forward. We'll slow this down here. Zoom in. I get the steel on the second pass. So here, I shoot through the port. And then what happens is I take two at the swinger, and they're 2 alpha, and then I decide to make another one up. And one thing we figured out on this stage is I have a lot of bullets that are tumbling. So I actually got to grab the micrometers, and I got to take them down south so I can mic out the barrels. They're brand new match barrels, and this happened before where the bullets just started tumbling. We figured it out on my last gun what the issue was, but I have to take some measurements, and let me see here. So I waste a bunch of time going back for another shot when I had 2 alphas on it, and that seems to be so I stopped there. That seems to be the theme, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start trusting my vision and not making up shots, because I did that last year too. I started making up shots on steel on swingers that I didn't, and it just added time. Every time you fire a shot, it's like 0.2, and on a swinger it can be up to a second. So I hesitate there. This is good here. I'm backing out shooting. Now I decide to come this way, that way, and then finish over here. A lot of people did it the opposite way. So this was an okay stage for me. Let's watch this full speed, and let's watch the whole thing. So the entry was very tricky. So I walked the entry a couple times. So I stepped with my left foot, and then I stepped with my right foot, and then I stepped with my left foot and turned. And while I was turning, I engaged the target, and I got 2 alpha on this. This is all great here. I keep the gun up, mic on steel, get my reload, mic on steel. See, I track it. That's 2 alpha. And I think what happens is I see the dirt in the background, and I think I mic it. But that was 2 perfect alphas. So this here looks good. This here is good. Makeup on steel. So yeah, 50-50 on the steel for this. It's probably added an extra second onto this. All right, so this stage here, this is a really important stage for me. I don't have a light strike because I looked at the bullet. There was no indentation. The hammer never dropped on the bullet, and I'm thinking, and you'll see it here. I'm thinking, did I top my mags off, or did I run out? Because I don't have malfunctions. Before, when I had a bunch of malfunctions when I was reloading, I was great at clearing malfunctions. But now that I don't have them, it's not. I should probably drill that. But I get right here, and I pull the mag out. I look. I see I have bullets in it. I put it back in. I rack it. I shoot the steel over here. And then I stick to my plan. Someone's like, hey, you shot 1 bullet and reloaded. And it's like, well, that was muscle memory, because the whole plan was to reload going into this position right here. So me pulling the mag out, checking it, is not in the thing. So I check it. I see bullets. I put it back in. I get the steel. I make up the steel. And then I stick the reload. But what happens here is because I'm behind with the malfunction, I start to, and I need to stop doing this, I start to rush. And I screw up the stage from the rest of the time. I almost fall right here, pull the muscle on my neck, and then I start going this way. And then when I get to the last position, I just start sending bullets. 2 makeups and a mic. And after I got done, it's like, why did I do that? So, you know, if you have a mishap, it's really important to stay on point and finish the stage strong. And I can do that about 50% of the time. But here I'm trying new things, and I'm trying to have a good showing. And so it's like, I know I'm behind the gun on this. I'm a good enough shooter that I can't have any malfunctions. I can't have any mics if I want to place where I want to place. So let's watch this. We'll watch this full speed. And then, so again, I go 1-on-1 for steel. I decide to draw this steel. I back out here. So now there's the steel, and it's like, I want to exit, and it's like, what the hell? Now, we'll slow this down right here. So I back out on the skunk. And here I almost eat crap. I stick with it. And then we'll go full speed, and you'll listen to how I'm just sending shots at paper. It's very disappointing. So I'm actually thinking I'm making up time, and I pick up a mic on the last target. Let's watch the head cam here. We'll slow it down to half speed. So I draw to the steel, 1 for 1, happy about that. Back out on the snowshoe, don't cover too much ground. Get to the corner. This is great. This is good. I mic the steel here. Nothing happens. And I looked at the bullet later, and it was like, and then so I dropped the mag, and I was like, in the back of my mind, it's like, oh, I didn't top off my mags. There's bullets in the mag, so I reload it, recycle it, take the 1 for 1 steel, and then this is the good part, I get right back on my stage plan, but then it's like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I need to hurry, so this is fine here. This is fine. And this throws me out of my game right here. I almost fall, and then we'll listen to this full speed. It's very disappointing. And you can see that last target. This target here, you can actually see right there. I'm not even close to hitting the target, and that's where I picked up my mic. So let's keep watching this. But it was a nice save. So this here, this stage here. So this stage I shot 5 Charlie, 5 Alpha, about the same time I shot it a couple weeks ago. For my speed on this, I can only drop like 1 Charlie, maybe 2 Charlie to have like a M run. So this is like, I barely make A. It's like the speed is good, but the hits are garbage. So it's all good. If I could pull off the hits, it would be a sweet run, but it's like 76%. And I'm trying to look at a small spot. It just didn't work out for me. So it's a warm up for the next stage. This stage is a GM run for me. And for me, the way I like to shoot this, and I'll break this down right here for you. I like to draw to this target. I like to draw to that target while I start moving, and then shoot that one. And this is where I pick up my Charlie. I pick up my Charlie pulling off on this target right here. And that's the only problem with shooting it this way. I think, let me see here. I think if you shoot this one, oops. Let me clear that. I think if you shoot this one and then shoot this one and then shoot that one, there's still a chance of sweeping, but your gun is right there. But for me, for some reason, with the style I shoot, I like this angle right here for my lower hips and my lower back. It's pretty straightforward, and then that angle isn't too bad there. And then when the key to getting into the last box is having the gun up as soon as possible, because you can actually see one of the targets as soon as you get in the box. So you start shooting that and you start driving to the corner, and by the time you're done with the target, the one target, you'll see the last target. So let's take a look at this. So here, let's let me slow this down here. So we'll do half speed. Oops. Okay, so we'll do half speed, and we'll do we'll get the whole thing in the frame. So I want to show you the last shooting box. So here, as soon as you get in here, you can see this target here. So the key is, as soon as you step in, you want to engage this target while driving forward. And by the time you're done with this target, this one becomes visible. A lot of people I see run to the corner. Oops. They run to the corner and then they shoot. So the key is to shoot as soon as you step in, engage this target. Oops. Engage that target right there. And then keep moving forward. And by the time you're done with this target, this one becomes available. So let's watch this in slow motion. And here's one thing I'm going to say. Falling out is never a good idea. So you get trigger freeze or something like that. Like, look how far out of bounds I am. That's a bad habit to do. If you look at the way Lockwood shot it, it was, excellent. He stayed right here for the last target and still got like 106% on it. Falling out, I highly recommend not doing it if possible. All right, let's get this back to full speed. Let's keep watching this. So we're almost to the last stage. Oh, we're gonna watch the head cam full speed on this. I'll move. There'll be no commentary. You can just watch it.
Stand by.
And you can see there, shoot as soon as you get into the box, and then the other target appears pretty quick. I am one alpha away from hundoing this. So this stage plan I got from Zach, the way he explained it to me is there's a bunch of targets this way, right? A bunch of penalty targets, no shoots, hard covers. And he's like, think about it this way, Ernie. He's like, if you stand and shoot this way, backing out, is it going to be harder than advancing on it and shooting those penalty targets, right? So it's like, that's a good point. Especially I've been practicing moving on no shoots at 15, 18 yards. So the whole premise is to come over here, shoot all this. There's a paper, 2 steel, and then this bullet trap right here. So I execute that good. I go 1 for 1 on the steel. I think I got 2 alpha on the far target, Alpha Charlie on the close target. And then I move on all these penalty targets. The unfortunate part is the last one is a hard cover, and I start to move before the gun settle, and I put one in the hard cover. I see it, but I keep moving. And then when I get up to the port up here, there's a target there, 1 steel there, and another steel there. I engage that one fine. I go 1 for 1 on this one. I mic this steel, and then I shoot the target here and pull my gun out of the port, and then I have to come back and put the gun back in the port. Would have been a sweet time, even with the mic, if I would have went 1 for 1 on the steel. But let's go ahead and watch this. We'll watch it full speed. And it was great because I had Henry and Andrew on here. Andrew's like pushing speed. So I'm actually going to slow this down. So let's back up. That's 49. Okay, so here I'm going to walk in slow and shoot these no penalty targets. And by the time I get to the last one, I should be advancing forward for my reload. So let's go ahead and watch this. So I take a couple steps and now I start shooting, slow walking it. 2 Alpha, Alpha Charlie, Alpha Charlie, Charlie Mike. The reload's good. I get my gun up. Here's where I make my other mistake. I thought it was a good hit on the steel. I have to come back for it. And then did a makeup shot on the skunk just because I knew I put one in the hardcover. So 20 seconds. It could have been a 19-second run if I would have shot it clean. But let's watch this full speed. And I see it and I keep moving. I got to work on that. That cost me dearly. And that's going to be a wrap. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It ran a little long. It's 23 seconds. I think the whole thing together is going to be 30. Again, you can watch the long breakdown on YouTube. And the intro you can watch on Instagram. All right. So you guys have a great week. And we'll catch up with you guys soon. Appreciate y'all.